Okay, we're back here in the Joel K workshop, and in this video we are going to mount the external door handles, so stay tuned. All right, so this is what we're up to. This is one of the exterior door handles, and you can see, as I pull it, it rotates the latch mechanism, or the lever mechanism, excuse me. That lever mechanism is going to pull on the lever to the bear claw and open it up. And this is the orientation, so you get the lock in the back, and then as you pull this, you could pull up on the door. So it'll unlock the door, and then you pull up, and there'll be a gas strut to then help the door move up. So the goal here is really to cut out this area and get these handles mounted. Once again, I don't want to cut too much material because I want to be able to mount them. Basically, there'll be a stud over here, then there's a stud here, and we want to be able to leave enough material to mount these handles. All right, so let's figure out what to do next. Okay, so I made a little template, and I basically want to cut out an area for the lock barrel and then for the lever mechanism. So if I can map the hole here and that area here into this area, I should be pretty good. All right, so I may make a template like I did for the bear claw installation, or this isn't that precise. I may just mark it up with a marker and then cut it out, but I'll figure it out and then we'll take a look. Okay, we're making progress getting this exterior lock in, and here's the issue. So the hole itself is a little undersized, so you would think that you would just drop in, but that is not the case. So here's a good tip if you're doing one of these builds. The gel coat is really thick inside here, so you grind out the gel coat in this area and then grind out the gel coat in this area, and it makes it long enough, and then you have to widen it over here, and we're going to widen it over here to expose the gel coat so that we have room for this and this. But right now this is getting in the way of the bottom panel. So when in doubt, get the modeling clay out. So I'm going to put some modeling clay in there, press this in, get a sense for where I need to drill a hole so this will drop in further, and then we'll continue on our journey. Okay, one more observation here. So you can see there's some markings in here, 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 and here. What it looks like is they match up to this hole, this lever, and this hole for the stud. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I put some modeling clay in here and then try to get an impression of this hole here. We'll see how close it is. Okay, so all right, we're going to drill a hole out right in the center there. Now that whole area has to be cut out, so it doesn't matter if it's a little off, but we just don't want to cut out too much material where the stud's attached to the door handle. So that's sort of the idea here. Okay, as I suspected, that hole is right in the center of that area. So, we don't want to cut too much over here and too much over there. So I think this process is working out pretty good. Okay, so that worked out really good. I put a stud where the lever goes to unlatch the bear claw, and that lines up right with that hole. Now it's hitting on the outside of this, so I'm going to get a drill that's wider, make the hole bigger. Then it should start to rest on this lever, which is this area here, and I'll cut that out, and then we'll be in pretty good shape. Okay, here we go. Well, if you're not building one of these, this is probably worse than watching paint dry, but I figured I'd document this because it really isn't documented anywhere to this level of detail. But hey, we got this sitting nice and flat. I can clear the lever inside and I'll take this out. And you can see, you know, from about here, you know, up top, and then from here down around, you have to remove the gel coat. And then using that modeling clay to figure out where things go, I'll use some modeling clay for the bolts that'll attach the door handles to the bottom. I'll have to cut this area out for the linkage, and that's about it. So we'll finish this up and then we'll take a look. Okay, so now we're going to drill the mounting holes. I just put some studs that I ground down to a point over here and over here. I'll put some modeling clay in here and we'll precisely locate where those mounting holes need to go. Okay, so there we go. That's what it looks like fully cut out. So you've got the 2 holes for the screws that attach the handles. So you got quite a bit of meat there. So they'll be held on securely. This is for the locking plate and lever. Then this is for the lock barrel itself. This probably didn't have to be this big. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is jump to the other side, and I'm going to show you how to trim this out very quickly now that we know what we know. And that will be, quote unquote, a pro tip for anybody needing to install these handles going forward. Okay, now with some hindsight, this is the driver's side door. I marked with the silver marker exactly where you need to cut the gel coat out. So I'm going to cut the gel coat out before I drill any holes, and it'll go a lot quicker. I'm not going to show this step by step, but this is really where to start. So I'll show you once I'm done grinding this out, and then we'll drill the holes. Okay, well, this came out great. This was maybe a half hour worth of work tops, and the handle fits nice and flat. And all I had to do is I ground down the gel coat from here to there, and just around the side here, cut a hole for the base, a slot for the lever, and it fits perfectly. Okay, I figured I'd show this. Well, if I haven't bored you to death at this point, maybe this segment will push you over the edge. But anyway, it's all cut out. So I turned out how to cut that whole area out anyway for the lock barrel, but I still have plenty of material for where the mounting screw there and the mounting screw there. Okay, well, we got a little work in process here. You can see that the handle is installed. I use these ultra flathead screws. Those are nice and shallow. They'll clear the locking plate that will rotate over them, and then we also have the spring that retracts the handle after you let it go. Okay, so we got the locking plate attached. It sort of was very fussy trying to get the top of that spring into the plate. I may have to figure out a way to do that a little easier, but I can actually install the lock with that plate attached with the linkage, and then you add the mounting screw afterwards. But then it makes putting it on the spring difficult, so I got to figure that out. But anyway, so let me reach in over here. So I'm just going to grab the lock. And there you go. So as I pull that lock, it'll pull on the bear claw, and then what I'm going to do is throw the lock mechanism. Okay, so now the lock mechanism, that plate. Okay, so now I can't open the door if I throw the lock. Okay, here we go. We're at the tail end. This will be the last segment. So you can see we got the handle installed. It sits nice and flush, and I kept this rubber grommet in place. That's a factory grommet, and that helps seal up the handle. Now there is an opening here for the linkage, so I expect if it rains, some water will get in the door. So I'm probably going to make a drip cup and funnel that water out the bottom of the door. That's sort of what they did on the 60 '68 Corvettes. I had one of those many moons ago, and they had the handle on the top of the door. But anyway, this is the way it works, and you just pick this up and then you start to pull the door up. It's a gull-wing door. If you want to lock it, you can hear that the latch was thrown over. Now it doesn't move. You want to unlock it. Now it works. And ultimately I'll have that lock and unlock connected to the slider in the door handle, so I can lock and unlock the doors from the inside. And also I'll have it set up with a electronic actuator so that I can passively unlock and lock the car as well. Alright, so that's it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching and take care.